Today I'm going to show you how I make an arrangement with one of my favorite winter flowers, the winter rose poinsettia. I'm Ellen Frost. I've been a florist for 15 years. I write a weekly newsletter all about my flower adventures, and I'm starting a flower community online. Today I'm going to show you how I make an arrangement with one of my favorite winter flowers. This is the winter rose poinsettia. As with most of my arrangements, I'm going to start first with some foliage. So because it's December, we have some short needle pine. I'm going to use that first, and that's just going to help me create the base and the bones of my arrangement. I'm not cleaning the stems too much. Cleaning the stems of evergreens is very difficult. I'm going to trim them up a little bit so they're clean enough that they can go inside the chicken wire. So the winter rose poinsettia, unfortunately, we only have one grower right now who grows them. In the past, we've had multiple sources for this beautiful winter flower, but right now we only have one grower who still grows them. Additionally, when we started, we had lots of different colors of this flower. There was a white, a pink, and there was also a marble, which was sort of like a yellowy pink stripe. It was very pretty. It was everybody's favorite. But unfortunately, those have been discontinued by the seed suppliers because there was not as much interest in them as there is in the red. So, I mean, I understand that red is, a traditional winter color, and everybody loves the red poinsettias, but the white and the marble and the yellow were really pretty. So next I'm just putting in some eucalyptus. This is very fragrant eucalyptus. This is the Blue Boy eucalyptus, very fragrant, and I do love how it adds some shape and some more whimsy into our arrangement. And again, I'm just using this foliage as a way to create a base for my poinsettias. They are very you can see that they're very big in their bloom, unlike potted poinsettias that have more pointed, long bracts. So these are actually called bracts. These aren't the petals, these are bracts. And the actual flower is like this inside piece of the poinsettia. So the winter rose really has these curved down bracts that make them look a little more like a winter rose. So I'm using my foliage just to create a base for those flowers. Just clean these up a little bit. All right. Next, I always like to use line flowers first. So a line flower is any flower that blooms up the stem and is in the shape of a line. And you can see it's like a much different shape than the winter rose poinsettia because this is a round face flower. This is more of a line flower. So the line flowers really do give line and shape to the arrangement. So I like to put these in pretty early on so that they lead your eye as the viewer of this arrangement to the focal flower, which in today's arrangement is going to be the winter rose poinsettia. I like a little bit of white in most of my winter arrangements because I do like that classic red and white color combination. In this arrangement, I'm also going to add some purple, which I really like this time of year because there are so many beautiful purple flowers. There's anemones, cabbage, ageratum. We have lots of options. So I'm going to add those in as well. So once I have my stock in, and stock is very fragrant. This is a very fragrant flower. If you haven't smelled stock before, it's sort of spicy. It smells like cinnamon a little bit, which also I feel like is great for the holidays. This pine is also very fragrant, so is the eucalyptus. So you're getting a really fragrant arrangement. All right, so next I'm going to put in, let's see, I'm going to put in some Sweet William next. And the Sweet William is great for color and for background. But it's not really like a focal flower. It's really going to be cut a little bit shorter than everything else and just used for its color, not really for the flower being a focal point. So I'm going to use these a little bit shorter in my arrangement. I'm just putting a few in as I go. All of these flowers today have been grown in a greenhouse, except for the cabbage, which is still outdoor cabbage here in Baltimore City. We just had really a hard frost like a week ago. So this cabbage is the last of the outdoor cabbage, but everything else has been grown in a greenhouse. All right, so you can see where I'm starting here. I'm gonna put my cabbage in next, and I'm gonna keep that kind of low too, because I really do want the poinsettias to be the stars. The cabbage is really pretty, but these are mini cabbage. So these are sort of smaller than what you would see traditional ornamental cabbage being. These actually are the perfect size for design. I actually love using this small style as opposed to like the really big cabbage. They make it kind of hard to put in smaller arrangements. So I'm just going to tuck these in. All right, so next I'm going to put in my poinsettias. So like I said, these are a single bloom. They come on a long stem, and as I'm holding them, I can feel that the stem is kind of sticky. That's because they do have a milky white sap on the inside of the stem that really is sticky. It's like oozy and gooey. And so when you cut into it, that sap can get on your hands and it can get on your clippers. If it gets on your hands, you really want to make sure you're washing your hands well after you design with these, because it can irritate your eyes. If you get it in your eyes, it can sometimes irritate your skin. It doesn't really bother me, but certainly if you get it in your eyes, it could be a problem. The other thing is your clippers are going to get very sticky. You can feel mine already. After cutting a few of these, you really want to make sure you clean your clippers really well to get that sap off. So I'm going to put my winter rose poinsettias in here. So these are pot poinsettias. So they were designed to go in a pot and be sold as a potted plant. However, the cut flower growers have really commandeered this flower as a cut flower and started to offer it as a cut flower, growing it in the ground rather than in a pot. And that really is, they're really able to extend the stem length if they grow in the ground, and also really produce a higher quality bloom in the ground. So these have all been grown inside a heated greenhouse. These are from Hendricks Flowers in Lidditz, Pennsylvania. Let's see, I'm going to put in 3 for now, and let's see how we do. Next, I want to put in a few of these purple anemones. Like I said, I love the combination of purple and red this time of year. And these anemones will open up in the vase. They're harvested closed, and then they're going to open up in the vase once they get to your house or inside, you know, sort of a heated spot. I'm going to put a few of these in. Sometimes I do take off the little crown here to expose the flower a little bit more. Depends on how big that is. Once they open up, you won't really be able to see that crown as much, but you might want to take off, if you were using anemones in your designs, you might want to take off that crown a little bit. But make sure you trim it so that you don't leave any of these little ragged edges. Next, I'm going to put in some tulips. Tulips are one of my favorite winter flowers. They are a perfect combination for this sort of poinsettia anemone arrangement. I am going to take off the leaves from the tulips because I don't really love tulip greens. They usually look pretty straggly. And again, your tulips are another flower that's going to open up in the vase. I'm going to put in a few ageratum. I can't believe we have ageratum right now. It's such a treat. These are from Butterbee Farms' new greenhouse, and ageratum is just like a filler flower. It's like one of those little bits and pieces that you put in at the end because it's really tiny, but it has the prettiest color. And I love adding it, especially with this color combination, and sort of popping it out a little bit so you can really see it. It's so small that I really like to make sure that it's sticking out so it doesn't get lost. It is a pretty tiny flower. All right, and there we have a beautiful winter rose poinsettia arrangement that really can be great for the holidays, but also well into January. These colors and this style is great for any time in the winter. So there it is.